Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. This is Farah Fudjasmedi. By name 21108580001. I will present my thesis results today, titled by the evaluation of Houthis maritime strategies challenging regional hegemony in the Red Sea 2023-2024. I will start with the introduction and the research background, since in the recent years, the world has witnessed a surge in complex global conflicts that have significantly shifted regional power dynamics and hegemonies, deeply impacting economic, security, and political landscape. Among these geopolitical changes, the Red Sea has emerged as a critical corridor connecting the Mediterranean Sea to the Indian Ocean and serving as a vital artery for international trade and energy supplies. Disruption in this region, therefore, have far-reaching intensification of Houthis maritime attacks since 2023, particularly against vessels linked to the Israel, has starkly highlighted the vulnerability of this strategically important corridor, necessitating deeper understanding of the multi-phase motivation and implication behind these actions beyond simplistic narratives. A problem statement is the Houthis' attack on ships in the Red Sea linked to Israel in 2023 marked a significant escalation in regional tensions and pose a serious threat to international maritime security. The Houthis publicly justified their actions as a solidarity with the Palestinians and a response to the Israel-Palestinian conflict. Further, the use of modern defensive potentials and the West diplomatic ways don't show effectiveness on seizing the attacks. So that leads us to the research question. How have the Houthis maritime strategies in the Red Sea evolved and presented themselves through their attacks in 2023 to 2024, which challenged the region's hegemony? Next is the research objectives. This research seeks to evaluate how the Houthis maritime strategies disrupt regional maritime security and challenge existing naval dominance in the Red Sea. The second one is to investigate the complex interplay of political, ideological, economic, and strategic factors that drive the Houthis' decisions to target ships linked to Israel and other interests. The study seeks to develop informed approaches to mitigate future attacks and promote greater stability in the region. Next, there is many of the literatures that I used to as a relevant studies in my research. The first one, titled by the Houthis motivations driving the Red Sea crisis, is understanding how Ansarullah's strategic cultures goes beyond Gaza and Iran. The second one is Yemeni's Houthis blockade of Israel merchant ships in the Red Sea and its impact on regional hegemony. The third one is an Islamic social movement of Hamas regarding Israel's attack on Gaza from the perspective of critical theory. Fourth is the challenges and security risk in the Red Sea impact of Houthis attacks on maritime traffic. And the final one is the UK and international responses to Houthis in the Red Sea 2023, 2024. Five. So this literature have different perspectives to the same topic of my thesis. So next will be the theoretical framework. I use in this research the Cox dialectical approach analyzes the social and political complex as an integrated whole, emphasizing how material conditions ideas and institutions interact dynamically to shape social forces and transform world order. Institutions are seen as active agents that formalize power dynamics and ideologies through legislation, political organization, and international standards influencing social consequences by either upholding or challenging existing hierarchies and evolving over time. Sorry. So this coxical dialectical approach in this shape can show they are interacting or influencing each other in a multi-direction way, which the material conditions, ideas, and institutions they are infecting each other, as it's shown in the picture. Next is the research methodology, which I use a qualitative, descriptive, analytical design. The research limits is between 2023 to 2024, uh, specifically analyzing the Houthis' actions in the Red Sea maritime region and not including the conflict in Yemen. The units are the Houthis groups, and the level of the analysis is the global level. Data collections, I use a secondary data collection using a strict inclusion criteria, sourcing from the academic, official reports, and international media, and primary Houthis materials, such as their statements, and some TV sources. The fifth one is the data analysis technique, employ thematic and content analysis, including operational timeline mapping and comparative analysis with other regional actors. So for this research result, or the key findings of this, first is the evaluation of Houthis maritime strategies. The Houthis maritime campaign evolved from a sporadic, isolated attacks into a systemic and coordinated offensive throughout 2023 to 2024, marking a significant escalation in both frequency and impact. The second target selection was strategic, focusing on vessels linked to Israel interests, Western powers, and economically vital shipping routes passing through the Red Sea, aiming to maximize disruption and political signaling. The fourth point is the spy sustained international military responses, including airstrikes, patrols, and sanctions. The Houthis demonstrated remarkable adaptability and resilience by constantly evolving their tactics, technologies, and operational patterns to circumventive uh, countermeasures. Tactical innovation, included diverse diversified weapon systems, shifting attacks location and exploiting gaps in regional maritime security that enabling continuous pressure on maritime traffic. Finally, this evolution reflects a calculated strategy to challenge regional naval dominance and assert influence over critical maritime corridors, complicating international efforts to restore the security. The second one is the impact on the regions and global economy. In short, there is a sharp decline in Red Sea shipping, as the data shown. There is a traffic rerouting and increased cost, sorting freight charges, drastic reduction in Red Sea container shipping, a Suez Canal transit, and financial impact, global economic disruption as shown. The third one is the international and regional responses. Military actions such as bombings and naval patrols have only temporarily disrupted Houthis maritime operations as the group adapts tactics and maintains resilience against the effort. Sanctions and diplomatic pressure have often strengthened the Houthis' narrative of resisting foreign invasion, boosting their domestic and regional support rather than weakening their positions. The lack of a cohesive, regionally coordinated strategy among affected states limit the effectiveness of responses, leaving gaps that the Houthis continue to exploit in their maritime domain. Okay, the description of the result are in the 3 points. This is maritime campaign combines ideological solidarity with the Palestinian, Yemeni national identity and pragmatic material interest, and Sikh mentality, reflecting a complex mix of potential economic and cultural factors driving actions. Their attacks challenging interwined regional and global hegemonies, particularly Zionist military power and global capitalist dominance, resulting in significant disruption to maritime um, maritime trade routes, causing economic and logistical impacts that disproportionately proportionally affect low-income nations. Despite the international military and diplomatic efforts, the Houthis have demonstrated resilience and adaptability, as I mentioned before, while fragmented regional coordination and ineffective sanctions highlight the need for a cohesive, multi-dimensional strategy addressing both security and root cause to achieve lasting stability. Move to the closing, which I will have some suggestion for further researches. Conduct a detailed empirical assessment of the Houthis missile and unnamed systems, focusing on operational effectiveness, command and control, ICR integration, and the influence of Iranian and external support on appreciated and asymmetric warfare capabilities. Explore the geopolitical and economic impacts of Houthis maritime operation on global trade, freight and rate changes, insurance cost, and rerouting expense. Assess how increased naval deployments by regional and extra-regional powers affect strategic stability. Investigate the socio-political effects of Houthis control over maritime choke point within Yemen and the region, including domestic legitimacy, resource access to economic conditions, and the use of um, information warfare to frame maritime attacks as an anti-imperial resistance. Undertake comparative studies of Houthis asymmetric maritime tactics with other non-state actors operating in critical choke points worldwide to enhance theoretical framework and inform tolerated policy and military responses considering geography, technology, and proxy dynamics. Analyze prospects for diplomatic solution cooperating maritime security, evaluating international legal frameworks, regional security mechanism, and peace process, and also study confidence build arms controls and install inclusive governance models addressing Houthis attacks. Conclusion, this maritime campaign in the Red Sea represents in a multi-phase challenge that disrupts regional security and global trade, fueled by complex political, ideological, and economic motivations, and highlights the urgent need for coordinated, multidimensional responses to address both the immediate threats and underlying causes of instability. That's all from me. Thank you.